Welcome back to more Summoner's War Monster Strategies. Today we're going to be looking at the Dark Warbear, and that is known as Gorgo. Gorgo is actually one of the more useful warbears in the game. And well, that is because, as you already know, Ramagos is extremely useful. Dagora has a lot of use. Ursha is underrated but not really used. And Lucia is, well, pretty bad. That leaves Gorgo, up in the higher tier of the warbears. But I mean, it's not only by default that he's up there, he is actually good, he is. Especially his third skill, it is of such great use. Okay, let's talk about his stats as a level 46 star. His stats, 11,205 HP, 351 attack, 549 defense, and 102 speed. So as you can see, he is a really good tank. Over 11,000 HP and, halfway of the 500s around there, yeah, 549, 550 around there. Yeah, but his attack stat is rather low, but he doesn't really need that. I mean, it's more about the HP and I guess critical damage eventually, which in a way relates to attack, but I mean, you'll see why it's not too important for attack directly. Okay, let's talk about his skills now. His first one is, of course, Thresh. Thresh says, smashes the enemy and decreases the target's attack bar by 25% with a 50% chance. This attack will deal more damage according to your max HP. That's the same basic move that, that we already know. The second one, Roar. This move is identical to Ursha's second skill, in which, well, let's see, inflicts damage proportional to your max HP to all enemies and decreases their attack power for 2 turns. Pretty good, it's an AoE attack break. And then, the third one, Charge deals damage according to your max HP. This attack receives a 70% critical rate bonus and stuns the enemy for 1 turn when this attack lands as a critical hit. What I've learned about this skill is that I do believe, I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, but this skill apparently only takes HP into consideration, not the attack stat. I mean, I don't know, that's what I've learned, but I could be wrong. It's confusing. What I saw is that the attack does 35% of your max HP as damage, and that's it, which means that it doesn't take the attack stat into consideration, which is strange because the other ones do. These two, it's like a base stat that gets buffed up with attack stat, and then it also takes the HP into consideration. But all 3 of the attacks actually get powered up by the HP, which means that going all HP is the best way to deal massive damage. But let's talk about the runes now. Okay, so the runes. Now there are 2 things that I have here on the screen. I have all energy and I have rage energy. The second option, I am not entirely sure if it will work. I have tried to do as much research as I can, by looking online, looking at the monster debate, just looking everywhere and just talking about this guy in general. Because if he only takes pure HP into consideration, then the rage wouldn't be needed, but I do believe it is necessary because the third skill only takes HP into consideration, but it can still critical hit, which means that it will still take critical damage into consideration, just not the attack stat apparently. It's very strange how it's done, but I feel like I'm very right on that, but again, I could be wrong. So it takes HP into consideration and critical rate to get a critical hit and then critical damage for more damage, but not an attack stat. I don't know. That's why I'm doing either all 6 energy or rage energy. And as far as slots go all HP 246, or you can also put a critical damage in slot 4. And I mean, yeah, that's your best bet. Obviously, putting rage and critical damage will reduce the base damage of the 35% HP for the third skill, as well as reduce the damage slightly for the other 2, unless you get a critical hit for the other 2 skills, then critical damage applies, and yeah, really high damage. But that's pretty much it. I've seen those 2 setups, all energy or rage energy, and yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so as far as substats, you want to probably go, obviously, more HP, but, critical rate, critical damage. Critical rate, you want to try to get it pretty high. Not extremely high, because, the third skill has a 70% increased chance, but if you're going to be doing rage critical damage, get the critical rate pretty high there, so that the first 2 skills can also critical hit a lot, just so you can use critical damage to its full potential. But aside from that, all HP, it's all about HP and criticals, this guy. That's all it is. The more HP, all 3 of his moves get powered up with the more HP you have. Okay, so that is pretty much it for Gorgo. I mean, there's not much else to say. Gorgo is very useful. for being a tank, he can definitely dish out some really crazy damage, you know. First skill gets powered up, second skill, AoE attack break, who doesn't like that, and third skill, massively powerful. I mean massively. Like, it's ridiculous. If you get this guy's HP to 30,000, you know, that's awesome. That's almost like, what, 10,000, almost 10,000 HP consistently damage non-critical. That's ridiculous. Okay, so that's pretty much it on Gorgo. If you have any comments, you know, about some rune setups that you've used with this guy, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm sure that people will appreciate that very much. Anyway, thank you for watching, goodbye everybody, and as always, until next time.